Yo, what's happening everyone? It's me, it's Jinsula. I hope you're having a good day and welcome to today's Pokemon GO raid guide video. And today we're going to be covering the legendary Pokemon Incarnate Form Tornadus. For anyone who has been playing this game for a while, you would know that this Pokemon is utterly useless. It's not a good Pokemon when it comes to PvP and PvE content, and it really only exists to be a Pokédex entry. Once you get yourself an Incarnate Form Tornadus, you really do not have to worry about farming it up at all. It's really only there just to get rare candies and Rare Candy XL. But if you are looking to get yourself an Incarnate Form Tornadus, then this guide is going to serve as what you will need to bring in order to take down this raid boss. So with that said, let's talk about the best counters and the best strategies for taking this down. Incarnate Form Tornadus is a pure flying type legendary Pokemon, which means it's only going to have 3 weaknesses, which is going to be Ice type, Rock type, and Electric type attacks. It's also going to have a double resistance against Ground type attacks, and a regular resistance against Fighting type, Grass type, and Bug type attacks. Of course, you will want to avoid bringing any Pokemon with these moves, and you will want to go with Pokemon that have Rock type or Electric type attacks in particular. Now, in terms of the perfect IVs, you will want one that is 1911, and if it's weather boosted, it's going to be 2389. And of course, Tornadus Incarnate Form is going to be weather boosted by windy weather, and that's mainly because that is the weather boost that boosts up flying type Pokemon. If you want to secure the win against this raid boss, you will want to bring at least 4 trainers with Pokemon that are at least level 30. And if you want to challenge yourself, bring just 1 other trainer and have both of you have at least level 40 Pokemon. Now let's talk about the best counters. Of course, this is going to be a pure flying type, which means the Mega Evolutions you will want to bring is going to be either Mega Diancie or Mega Tyranitar with Rock type attacks. And then of course, the best Pokemon you could bring that are not Mega are going to be Shadow Rhyperior as well as Shadow Raikou. And then you could also bring Xurkitree as well. Now, if you do not have any good legendary or shadow Pokemon, you could bring these budget counters. They include Mamoswine with either Rock type or Ice type attacks, Rampardos with Rock type attacks, as well as Rhyperior with Rock type attacks. Rock Wrecker Rhyperior is going to be the best Pokemon to bring against Tornadus, and that is because it does have a lot of bulk, so it will last longer in battle, but also deal a good amount of DPS as well. This is a very straightforward raid boss considering it only has 1 typing. As long as you bring counters to that typing, you're going to be good to go. Alright, so at the top of the video, I mentioned how this Pokemon is utterly useless. And the reason for that is because if you're looking for a really good flying type, there are going to be much better options that are not even legendary. They're going to be much easier to get, and they're going to be better for both PvP as well as PvE content. Incarnate Form Tornadus really doesn't have any place in Pokemon GO. It basically just exists as a collector's item, and there's quite a lot of legendaries that are exactly that. The one thing that this raid boss does have going for it is that it is quite easy to take down. So if you're looking to farm up Rare Candies and Rare Candy XL, then this could be a perfect raid boss for you to do just that. The only problem is, not a lot of players are going to be interested in raiding for this Pokemon. People are probably not going to be spending their remote raid passes, and in general, people are not going to be as active when it comes to raiding for this Pokemon, simply because it doesn't have any gameplay relevance. So because of that, it's going to be really difficult for you to get a dedicated farming raid group, and I do think because of that, you should probably take a break and save your raid passes for an upcoming boss that's going to be much better. In fact, I would say that a really good raid boss for you to spend your raid passes on is going to be Mega Lucario, which is coming really soon. When that Pokemon drops, you will want to spend your raid passes to get as much Mega Energy as you possibly can. And the reason for that is because with that Pokemon, you will want to make sure you have enough Mega Energy to Mega Evolve it on a whim. And yeah, because of that, I would say that you should skip out on this raid boss. You don't necessarily need Terrian Form Landorus, or I should say Incarnate Form Landorus. Terrian Form Landorus is actually not that bad as a flying type, but it's also not really good as well. It's really unfortunate because this Pokemon is kind of cool, but in terms of the Force of Nature legendaries, it's kind of like the weakest one. So yeah, do not worry about this Pokemon, you do not need it. There's going to be much better flying types out there, and yeah, I would say you should save your raid passes for Mega Lucario. Now, one final thing you need to keep in mind is that Tornadus Incarnate Form does have its shiny form in Pokemon GO. Unfortunately, because this Pokemon doesn't have any gameplay relevance, it's not going to be a high priority shiny, and not a lot of players are going to look for it in lucky trades. So because of that, it's not even worth farming up if you are looking for a shiny as a trade chip. But if you are a shiny hunter, it will be worth going after this shiny, considering that not a lot of players actually care about this raid boss, so it might be considered a rare shiny in most cases. But yeah, like I mentioned, it's not going to have any gameplay significance, so it's not a shiny that you really need to go head over heels for. Do not worry if you miss out on the shiny form, you're not really going to miss out on it, and if you happen to get lucky and get yourself a Shundo, I would say it's still not worth powering up. That's just how useless this Pokemon can be. And yeah, with that said, that's going to be it for this video. Now, let me know your thoughts regarding this legendary Pokemon down below. Do you plan to raid for this Pokemon, or do you plan to skip out and save your raid passes for better Pokemon in the future? Let me know what your plans are, and let's have a great discussion. And thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. If you ended up enjoying it and found it to be informative, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And also don't forget that little bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And real quick, I want to give a shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, the absolute best way you could do so is by joining my Patreon. If you choose to do that, you will get a permanent spot on my in-game Pokemon GO friends list. So that means for stuff like remote raids or the friendship system, if you want to play Pokemon GO with me, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. And if you want to support my channel in a different way, you could always do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula, and I'm on the platforms that you see on screen. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow. And that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.